Where is this going to go? What if they say this? What if this happens? How is this going to look? How am I going to do that? You've then paralyzed yourself. Paralysis by analysis, okay? How can you move the ball forward today? Don't worry about that. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you now, it's already not going to end up how you think it's going to end up. Usually for the better. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. My name is Shelby Bowen. I am a life coach, and today's episode we are going to be talking about why you're not going after the dreams and goals that are in your heart. Before we jump into it, if you want my information on how to work with me one-on-one for my coaching services, I'll link my information down below. I also have my email on the screen. You can contact me on there. So let's just go ahead and jump into why you're not going after your goals. Tell me why. I already know why. A lot of you, I talk to you, and I know why you're not going after your goals. And I know why I do this same self-sabotaging technique that so many of us find ourselves in. So we're going to go ahead and just jump into today's video, because this is something that I know is holding back so many of y'all out there, because I talk to you, I go through this myself, and today I just want to encourage you to get off your butt. I love you. You are doing great. Okay, you're doing great, but we sometimes have to just get over ourselves. And I don't say that lightly. I think our emotions are very valid. I think our experiences are valid. I think it's important to sit with how we're feeling, but I think there's also a time where we just have to get off our butt and do the thing. Just do the thing. And so today, whatever dreams, whatever goals have been on your heart that you've been putting off, today's the day to take a step. And I'm going to give you an example in my life of how I have done this recently. So before I became a certified life coach, I was a journalist for many years before this. And I still have a lot of goals and dreams that I would like to accomplish within that aspect of my career. And so I had this specific collaboration in my mind with this specific company for so long. And in my head, all the thoughts were, oh, but you haven't done this in a little while, or they might not want to work with you. They might not even answer your email. All the excuses. Like, we all have all of the excuses. And every time this would pop up in my mind about how I wanted to collaborate with a specific company, I just kept coming up with all these excuses. And finally, I had my come to Jesus moment. And last week I was getting my hair done with this girl. Her name's Megan. She does my hair. She is like a life coach, hair fairy extraordinaire. She is amazing. And I was walking her through some of the areas that I just feel stuck in my life. And as a life coach, I'll tell you, just being able to talk to somebody, you're able to really get to the root of why you're feeling stuck. And so many of the issues that we have in our life, or why we feel stuck, or why we don't go after the thing, are all rooted in our confidence, right? It's rooted in our ability to see ourselves in the way that we actually are created to be, and step into that with confidence and courage and boldness. And I had asked her this question, because she is 15 years into the career that she has, and I really look up to, who she is as a woman. And I asked her, how have you built what you have today? Like, what have you done to get to where you are today? And as a little side note, I will say, if you can humble yourself enough in life to look for wisdom in the people who are around you, you will be shocked at the revelations that you will get. So often we look at everybody's highlight reel and we want to pretend like we have it all together too. We're perfect. Look at me, look at what I'm doing over here. Woo. And the thing is, no. And me and her were talking, and she was like, there's specific things that I have going for me that maybe you don't have going, or there's a lot that you have going for you that maybe I don't. And we're all learning from each other. We're all growing from each other. And so that ability to be humble and ask somebody, hey, how did you get to where you are? Can you give me advice? Is so huge. in and of itself. I'll start with that. So I asked her the question, how have you gotten to where you are today? How have you been persistent to not give up in the dreams that you have, in the goals that you set for yourself? Here you are 15 years later and you've created this amazing life for yourself. How have you done it? And she walked me through a couple of things, and I won't share the specifics because, that's somebody else's story to tell. But essentially the point of what it came down to was that she'd seen a lot of people in her life that were close to her have their life taken too soon. And that taught her how to just be grateful for what she had in front of her in the moment. And how often are we not recognizing that right now you're living in an unanswered prayer? A prayer that you had that was unanswered, you're living in right now, so it is answered. But, and I get it. You might be in a really tough season of life, and you're like, yeah, I did not pray for any of this. But, I think about it, oh my God, well, years ago I prayed to have a husband who I loved and, who I could build a life with. And I do. I have a beautiful life that I'm building with my husband. I've been married 1.5 years, and I am so thankful for that. And how often do we stop and just live in gratitude for all the things that have come? And that's another point that I want to say. If you don't love the journey, you will never reap the benefits of the journey. If you can't love the day, the moment, the how am I getting the ball forward today, the little steps that it takes, if you can't love the hard moments and the beautiful moments of life, of chasing your dreams, of being an entrepreneur, even if you're not an entrepreneur, just chasing your dreams, if you can't have that fortitude to love the moment, to love the process, then it will not come. It will not happen. And so how can you romanticize the process of your life every day? For me, that looks a lot like routines. I romanticize the fact that when I wake up, I think about all the things that I'm grateful for within the last 24 hours, immediately off the bat. Then I get up, I come to the kitchen, I get some hot water, I put some fresh ginger and lemon in there, get my digestion going. And then I spend some time praying, reading the Bible. Then I'll eat breakfast, have some coffee. But I'm romanticizing my journey each day. Oh my gosh, today is an adventure. Today is a new day. What is going to come today? What little inklings are going to pop into my mind that I could poke into and see if there's anything there? What's going to come today? And I get it. Not all days are we going to have that kind of mindset, but it is one that has helped me a lot in my life getting to that. And so back to what Megan was telling me. So she was walking me through how she just had gratitude for each phase of her business life, her business journey. And it's so true. I had to sit there and think about so often my career in what it was before to then transitioning into something new. And I worked for other companies before. I worked for other people. Now I'm doing my own thing, and I have a coaching business, which is doing great. And I have beautiful clients who I love. And I have these other dreams and goals of pursuing more stuff in journalism, but as a freelancer. And I've not done that before. That's not something I've done before. And so we can't expect to just pick up where we left off in another season of life when we're stepping into something totally new. We have to be humble in the process and humble enough to realize it is going to look so different than what it looked like before. And that is what is so beautiful about it. And so after I had this conversation with her, I was sitting there and I was recognizing how much I was moving out of a lack of confidence in that these other goals and dreams that I had and do have, whether or not they were going to come to pass, when they were going to come to pass, what it looked like, instead of, hey, I'm just going to be grateful for what I have now, but also put myself out there in all these other areas. And if they come, great. And if not, then there's somewhere else that is for me. And so often our mindset is, but what if that doesn't happen? What if they don't respond? What if they don't want to work with me? What if they don't have the time? What about da 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 da? But what if they do? What if your life got even better? What if you did land that job? What if you did land that deal or that partnership or you found that relationship? What if it all worked out? We don't think that way. We don't allow ourselves to think what if for the good. Because so much of the negative is what shapes our life, and it's what shapes our messaging and beliefs about ourselves. So much of the things that we went through in childhood shape the way that we think today. But you know what is so awesome about that? Our brains can change. We can change our brains and mold them into a brain that has faith, has trust in God, that is able to have intuition and discernment in where you're moving and where you're going, and a brain that is able to have positive thinking. And so much of that is taking our thoughts captive, which I talk about in other videos on what that looks like as far as rewiring our subconscious mind and psychology stuff. So you can look in a past video if you are interested in learning about that. But going back to the story, I left that hair appointment so rejuvenated. And surround yourself with people who know more than you do in certain areas of life. Surround yourself with people who are going to call you higher, who are going to say, you know what, I think you're kind of doing this out of a lack of confidence or, whatever, but hey, just look at everything you've done. Look at all that's come. I mean, that's amazing. It's one day at a time, surround yourself with people like that. And so I left, and I had this newfound sense of I need to get some stuff together, and I'm excited about it actually. And so 2 things happened after that. One, I had felt a little I felt a little unsure of where the support group that I have is going. I felt a little unclear. I want it to continue to expand and grow into something bigger, but I have a lot going on with the coaching business right now, as well as some social media stuff that I've got going on, and I just didn't have the time to figure out how that needed to move forward. And so instead of letting those negative thoughts again come into my mind of maybe you should just cancel it, maybe you shouldn't do it anymore, and if you're in the support group, we're not canceling, okay? This is about to get so much better. But instead, I had this girl on my mind, this woman on my mind who is so incredible, and she just kept popping up for me, and I was like, oh, but again, here it came. Well, maybe she wouldn't want to collaborate with you in this, or maybe she's too busy, or she's got too many other things going on. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to reach out to her. I'm going to talk to her about it, see if she's interested. And so I reached out to Dee Dee, who will now be co-hosting the support group with me. We have a lot of other things that we've been planning and talking about. And she was so excited. And I'm so excited. And it was exactly what she was needing and wanting to do in her life. I'm sorry, my shoulder keeps hurting, so that's why I keep swinging my arm. And it was so perfect. She was like, I was looking to do this with somebody. I had a conversation with them. It didn't work out. And it was the perfect timing. But if I had not just stepped out and reached out to her, we wouldn't have this. And now, not only do I not feel unstuck with where the direction of this work group is going, I actually feel so much excitement. So many different things are going to be coming, and so much is happening, and it's wild. God is trying to do that to you. He's trying to do that for you in your life. The areas that you feel stuck in are a call to adventure, okay? The areas that you feel stuck in, I'm going to say it again, are a call to adventure. If you feel stuck, that means something's shifting. Something's changing. If you feel, where are you looking to see the call to adventure, the call to bring something new in, a call to refresh and rejuvenate your perspective, your mindset, where you're going? Where is that call to adventure for you in your life? And so that was just one thing that happened after that conversation that I had with Megan, my hairdresser. And the second thing is, and by the way, if you would like to join the support group, if you are healing from spiritual abuse or just any hardship in your life, and you want to find a group of people who just have a collective understanding of what you're walking through, and they want to grow and heal and be successful and find purpose in life, then I'll link the support group where you can join down below. Anyways, the second thing that happened was going back to the journalism dreams that I have, those goals. I reached out to the brand, to the person who has a company who I would love to freelance write for. And I was so nervous, y'all. I was so nervous. I sent in an email. I couldn't find that person's specific email, so I sent in a form on the website. I had typed out this whole thing about how much I loved what they do and how it's so important to me and I would love to write for them. And I heard back a couple days later, and I actually opened up my email. I sat down, I opened up my email, and they were like, I would love to see your work. Send me what you've got. We're always looking for new freelancers. They were really excited to hear and see more. And so that would not have happened if I didn't just get over myself, get off my butt, move past these negative thoughts, and just do it. What is the worst thing that can happen, right? You reach out to them and say, hey, we're not really looking for anybody right now. Okay. Hey, could you keep my name for the future when you are? What's the worst that could happen? Hey, we don't know that the work that you do aligns with where we're at right now, but thank you so much for applying. Okay. At least you tried. I know this quote is so kind of cheesy, but you miss all of the shots you don't take. And that became so real to me in my life over that week that I realized that I had stopped doing that. I had stopped taking those chances because I was allowing, when we think too much, this is the third and final thing I'm going to get into. When you think too much about what it's all going to look like in the future, where is this going to go? What if they say this? What if this happens? How is this going to look? How am I going to do that? You've then paralyzed yourself. Paralysis by analysis, okay? How can you move the ball forward today? Don't worry about that. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you now, it's already not going to end up how you think it's going to end up. Usually for the better. So get rid of these expectations that you have on yourself and what you want to do. Get rid of the expectations and just step your foot into the pond. How can I move the ball forward today? Does that look like an email? Does that look like a phone conversation? Does that look like finding a group of people who do what you want to do and asking them for advice? What does that look like today? Is it getting the domain for the website you want to do, starting the blog that you've always wanted, writing the book that you've been putting off because there's a million other books like that? What you have to say is unique. I don't care if there's a million other books out there on the topic that you want to write about. What you have to say is going to be different because you are different. Your fingerprint is different, and somebody's going to want to hear what you have to say. Get rid of those expectations. Get rid of the negative mindsets. I know they're hard, and look, this takes repetition. It takes time to position ourselves and our brain to think this way. And so it's okay. Give yourself grace, give yourself understanding, and I'm a huge proponent of the planner. I write it out every day, and each time I get to cross something off, it's like a little hit. I'm like, yay, look at me. I just accomplished something. Then I'm, revved up to get the next thing done, to get the next ball forward. And you will be shocked at the doors that start opening for you. When you stop looking at your life as, God never does anything for me like he does it for everybody else. I see what he did for them, but he's not going to do that for me. Nothing ever works out for me. All bad things are always happening to me. I'm not that smart. I'm not good enough. You are going to operate out of that place. You're going to operate from that. So we have to figure out where these beliefs came from. Where do these messaging come from? And maybe it's not that deep for you. Maybe you're like, you know what? I just needed to hear this to get off my butt and do the thing. But recognizing where we adopted those beliefs in life are going to help us to heal those things, step into our true identity and who we were created to be, and move forward. I hope this video helped you guys. I know that I'm excited for you. If you implement these things, please comment down below. Tell me how it's working for you. Send me an email. I would love to hear how any of these tips are helping you in your life. I love connecting with you guys. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow along for more videos to come. I'll see you next time, guys. I believe in you. You have got this.